I don't know what's going on in the record keeping department, but if you guys are trying to be transparent, you're sure as hell not proving it to me. I mean, we're talking as many as 800 documents were taken off the website, and of the documents on the website, some of the financials and monthly statements don't reflect the dates that are actually supposed to be the dates themselves. So I don't know what's going on with that. Then, and on this particular thing, since it is now, the PFA is now part of Woodmen Hills, something I thought was very interesting is that it says see Part L or Section L, and for the last 3 years, whoever's been filing the tax returns hasn't filed that document because it shows the lease. Now, I've asked for this lease 4 times in open records, only to be told that it doesn't exist. Well, apparently the IRS it does, because the forms that are being filed say it does. Now, I don't know where it is, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter. That was 1. 2, I'm thoroughly disgusted. I've been here 11 years. Most people in this room know me, probably don't like me, and that's fine, I'm cool with it. But I gotta tell you, after I found out what happened to Mrs. Bliss and Mr. Gonzalez, it made me sick to my stomach. Whether we get along or not, I don't know what happened, but I have a tape recording of something that was said that I'm now going to formally ask, and your name is Mrs.
Kirkbride.
Thank you. Mrs. Kirkbride, that somebody do an independent investigation to find out if somebody's interfering in the board. All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, another person is Bob.
Hey, Josh.
Job.
I thought that was an attendee sign-in sheet, so I'm just a conscientious observer today.
You mean you don't want to speak?
Hello.
All right, thank you, Bob. Linda Neiman? Nyman?
Nyman.
All right, so your name and your address, please.
Linda Nyman, 8390 Saddleman Road.
Thank you.
I have a couple issues. One of them, I had a written complaint to our rec center about how filthy it was in the locker rooms. I received no reply. I gave him my email, my phone number, my address, nothing, heard nothing. Place is filthy. My second complaint, and I don't know who to go to about this, is our walkway over here off of Woodman. I live on Saddleman's, which is behind my house. The dog messes. You can't even walk on the sidewalks. There's, nobody cleans up. It's just a mess. So I didn't know who to complain to about that, so I came here. So those are my issues.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Lynn Bliss is next. So please state your name and your address, please. It's not up here.
Lynn Bliss, 12053 Trumbull Park Road. My concern is the current board wants certain members off the board out of the way to push an agenda with regard to spending funds on park and rec. That's my concern. Specific funds have been set aside for the district, including a reserve fund, funds for mandated sewer plant and necessary water tank and lift station. These capital improvements are vital to the welfare of this community. If I deny what's going to happen, what I see is happening is that you'll be told that you have X amount of funds to do park and rec improvements. You'll go ahead with it. And then you'll have a situation called scope creep, where the contractor or you will say, well, let's add this, let's add that. Contractor will have overruns. And then you'll have no choice but to pay it. It's going to cost more. Ordinarily, Gene Cosolino, who has 20 years experience in construction experience, would oversee this project and prevent these issues. But at one of these public meetings, you voted to make Jan Fitzy, the wife of a board member, a park and rec consultant. Now, I would expect that she's going to oversee this project, something that she's really not qualified to do. So then we have these unanticipated costs, and you'll have some choices. You can tap into allocated funds meant for water and sewer or reserve funds. You can substantially raise fees, or you can reduce our reserve to the point that we won't have sufficient funds, but district will need to make repairs like we had flooding a few years ago, or a lightning strike on a well. And then there's the under drain issue. That won't be resolved until the end of the year. If the upper black squirrel rules against us and necessary modifications are necessary, they're going to be costly. you'll be in an unpleasant situation where you may have to raise fees after residents have been told that they wouldn't be raised because of park and rec improvements. So the question for residents is this: are you going to allow this board to make these changes to park and rec at the expense of vital services such as sewer, food station, and water? Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Janina. Okay, Frank Gonzalez. Frank, please state your name and address.
Frank Gonzalez, 12053 Plum Park Road. Okay, I have prepared comments, but I'm going to start in the middle of the Yesterday, we had a discussion with a lawyer and presented him with a summary of what transpired on January 23rd, 2017. He stated that this is what should have happened. A prior notice, typically 30 days, should have been presented to the public, stating that the board would entertain major serious bylaw changes on a given date, time, and location. This would allow for public input on those changes. The board then should have presented those resolutions in a true public meeting with the opportunity for the public to state their support or opposition to these changes. This wasn't done. During the so-called public meeting on the 23rd of January, arguments were made that the new, now current board believes in transparency and in service to the community. Well, it appears that the idea of transparency was only an ephemeral concept, thought, that has now been absorbed into the cosmic energy of the universe. I'm a proponent of string theory, and I won't go into that. Okay. You have held 3 so-called public but really secret meetings in the last 2 months. Meetings with minimal announcement to residents, who are your employers, held at the district office. Translation, very little room, or very minimal room for a public presence, and on a Monday at 10 a.m. When residents least expect a board meeting to be held. New transparency. In the words of the attorney we spoke to yesterday, a rogue board. So I'm going to go to the beginning of my prepared statements. On or about January 20th, 2017, a board member, Director Mike Pittsey, called for a special meeting of the Woodmen Hills Board of Directors to be held on January 23rd at 10 a.m. at the district office. The agenda provided to us in this list listed only the appropriate statutes regarding the justification for an executive session. Again, I emphasize just the statute for an executive session. Ms. Bliss opened the meeting and immediately moved to go into executive session. Myself, Mr. Gonzalez, seconded the motion. No one voted. There was total silence. Then Mike Pittsey, in an extremely harsh, loud, and demanding voice, said that we would like to stay in public session right now. He then asked both enterprise directors to leave. These 2 people here. Both Ms. Bliss and I objected strongly. Pittsey then made a motion to have the enterprise directors leave the meeting. They took a vote. Porter, Gillette, and Pittsey voted yes. Ms. Bliss and myself voted no. Pittsey then asked to add several agendas to the items to the agenda, an amendment to the bylaws, 3.6.4, and a resolution to elect new officers. Pittsey then moved to add those 2 items to the agenda, and Gillette seconded. This was followed by comments by Pittsey about married couples on the board. Nothing in Title 32 that prohibits that. From this point on, Mike Pittsey acted as if he was in total command of the meeting. Ms. Bliss and Gonzalez, myself, protested the direction that the meeting was taken, but Mike said that he could amend the meeting in any way he wanted. He seemed to admit the whole affair was a conspiracy. Porter stated words to the effect that, hey, the public can't do anything about it. So anyway, the rest is history.
Thank you for your comments.
Whatever. Oh, I have copies of my prepared comments if anybody would like to see
Next,
them.
any other business?
And post it on the website? You bet. Thank you.
Okay, you're right. Are there anyone else having a comment? No? Got to miss the sign-in sheet?
I know I'm not a resident, but I had a question.
Frank, I'd like one.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's the last one. How do I?
I see your name.
Anybody else want a copy of this, my comment?
Mr. Nutley, we have someone trying to speak. Will you listen to the point? Thank you, sir.
My address is 10472 Scotts Bluff Drive, Dayton, Colorado. I'm Meridian Ranch resident. I've never been to one of your board meetings, but I'm a president of the PTSA, and we follow Robert's rules, and we discuss things, and it seems like your meeting here, you're duly noting these comments, but there seems to be no back and forth. What's the resolution of these? Are these comments that have been made and addressed to you going to be discussed at a later date, discussed this evening? And how is the public who's made these comments going to be notified what the resolution is? Because these are things, they brought things to this board asking for some input, some resolution, cleanliness in the rec center, other issues. How are you guys gonna address that? Because to me, that seems as being a PTSA board member, that's one of my duties, and that's what we do. And so, my question to you is, you're duly noting, okay, to me, that means you're saying, kiss off, I'm noting it, and I'm gonna do what I want, and thank you for giving your time, but it's ignored. So that's why I was kind of wanted to make a comment. I'm also an instructor at the rec center, and I do teach the water aerobics. I've raised the issue with Lisa, but since the water temperature has been lower in the pool, understanding that supposedly the condensation between the cinder block and the outside stucco is creating outside stucco to come off, which doesn't seem logical. But so the pool temperature has been lowered. We're not following American fitness guidelines for water aerobics, where the temperature for a multi-use pool, which that one is, should maintain between 84 and 86 degrees. And it's at 82. I've now got students who have come, some for 11 years, have come to this pool, and they are now moving away, and they're not going to continue taking classes at the rec center because 82 degrees is too cold for them. They come to the pool because they can't do land exercises. They've had knee replacement or hip replacement or arthritis, and that pool temperature literally freezes them. For a couple of ladies said they were cold for days after being in the pool. So it's 82 is not going to work. You guys are going to lose basically a class that has been a big draw at the rec center. It's probably the biggest class that you guys have at the rec center, and I had 3 students today when I used to normally get about 15. So big deal.
What was your name again?
Michelle Burkhart.
Thank you, Jill. Was anyone else who wanted to speak? Okay, we're going to number 12. Once again, thank you all for your comments. Other business. Is there any other business?
I do have one other item. Did you know this, not this particular board, previous board, had a consulting agreement, PFA, to help with financing and other issues, to clean up some leftover stuff. Back in 2014, I think it was. I did receive a notice from the PFA board president, Rusty Green, that he is canceling, giving the 30-day notice to cancel the consulting agreement because he feels that he's accomplished what he was directed to do by the board. So I'd like to submit that for the record for the board, and then also the resignations of all the officers of the PFA.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Gene, it doesn't sound like there's a
No,
motion,
it's
it's
just
just
a-
an item.
Okay,
Item.
so we'll just add the record.
It's on the record.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I just couldn't.
Gene, Ron's just motioning
The
that.
consulting agreement with the PFA is being canceled,
Okay.
terminated,
Okay.
and all the board directors of the PFA are resigning. So the board will need to appoint new directors to PFA.
Okay, and that's how I entertain a motion for that.
Motion adjourned.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting is adjourned.
It's adjourned? You want me to wait? Okay. You want me to, thank you. Mrs. Fitzy, you're officially served. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy.
You didn't need somebody else to.
No, I don't, I can serve it. I'm over 18.
Oh, no, I didn't know. I would do it.
No, I appreciate it. No, I don't need to. I'm just a little stunned at what I learned tonight.
Very new and very own.